Hi, Beck Mack here, and I am at QBI at the University of Queensland, and I'm with Jürgen Götz. How are you?
Hi Beck, yeah, nice to talk.
Now, Jürgen, can you just tell us a little bit about the work that you do?
Yeah, I have been trained in the US, in Switzerland and in Germany. And I was recruited to the Queensland Brain Institute 10 years ago. In fact, we had just 10 years of CJ Cadre anniversary a few days ago. So I'm an Alzheimer's researcher. So I've been trained in immunology and developmental biology, but I have always been working with model organisms. And so I've been using these model organisms to gain a deeper understanding into what is causing Alzheimer's disease. So basically we use these model organisms to understand what's going wrong in an Alzheimer's brain, and at the same time we also try to figure out what can be done to provide a solution for the millions of sufferers with Alzheimer's disease. So I have been recruited here to lead the Clem Center for Aging Dementia Research. So we are 10 research groups with approximately 90 researchers, early career researchers, more advanced researchers, technical staff, and together we come up with innovative solutions for Alzheimer's disease.
Now, that area, the space you're working in, is really literally playing on people's minds. As we all grow older, we're all concerned about what our future holds. So I guess a lot of the community is really would want to invest in what you do, and also wants you guys to sort it out. But there's it takes a lot of, as you said, a lot of people work, a lot of researchers. So working with someone like Patrick Sylvie, what value has he brought to the work that you've been doing and the projects you've been building?
Obviously, we are dealing with a lot of stakeholders. There's the general public, but also funding agencies. And more we are working together as larger teams. So it's not just us, but we work together with many teams. I mean, it's important to come up with a governance structure. So we need to have a governance structure, we need to do a risk analysis. And in particular in the context of our submissions to the Medical Research Future Fund, the MRFF, Patrick has been an invaluable resource. And we have been often sitting together, kind of mapping out what we want to convey as a unifying story, and also how we want to structure the way how we go forward. For example, also from a commercialization angle, let's say which commercial vehicle we would be using, and at the same time basically working with these different stakeholders. We needed someone who would help us as we were mapping things out to kind of bring us all together and being a moderator. And I think Patrick has done a perfect job in being this moderator who not only challenged us and captured and kind of ensured that we would bring our arguments forward and that we would discuss everything openly, but he has a terrific gift in capturing the ideas and taking his 4-color ballpoint pen, taking this pen, going to the whiteboard and then capturing all the ideas everyone had and just drawing them down in different colors. And I don't know how he does it. It's just amazing. He uses these 4 different colors. He starts writing things down. And then in the end, he does not need an eraser, which is surprising. In the end, it looks like a coherent picture. It's almost a beautiful graphic which can be used for a presentation. So I would say in dealing, obviously he's a very friendly character and it's always fun to talk to him. But this is something which always strikes me. His 4-color pen, which he uses for his own notes, but he also uses 4 colors when he uses the white screen just to pin down the ideas and just write down what has been discussed.
Jürgen, I think you just gave away his biggest secret, the 4-color pen. Oh my God!
I definitely think I actually bought one, but the issue is buying one. I bought one at the post office and they had a perfect one, which was working well. But at some point we got a cheaper product, and I actually need to ask him where he gets his 4-color ballpoint pen from.
I don't think everyone can use that 4-color ballpoint pen like Patrick.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah. No, so, I mean he is a really nice person to work with, and I mean he has a background which we don't have. You see, we are trained as scientists, but we not necessarily have an insight into concepts of a governance structure. I mean, I did attend a course at the Australian Institute for Company Directors, and I have become a graduate of the Australian Institute of Company Directors. and just to deal with balance sheets and trying to be able. And I'm now able, to some degree, to read and interpret the balance sheet or with forecasts. But again, I mean, we in the academic environment, especially with the request by the general public to translate our findings for the greater good of the society, I think we need someone like Patrick who helps us in taking our ideas forward and make a real contribution.
And as you're saying, pretty much you can't do everything. So, and it does take a lot of specialists in the field coming together to collectively solve these really massive problems. Why would you recommend Patrick for these kind of work and these kind of jobs?
I think Patrick is someone who, I mean, obviously he also senses when there are tensions in a room and when people have different viewpoints, and we often speak a different language. Let's say you have someone with a clinical background, a preclinical background, you have engineers, you got biologists, you got people who have set up companies, people who have no commercial background, and obviously it's obvious that we have all our viewpoints and we are all limited in we are all limited in the sense of what we know and what we see and how we would interpret things, and also in how to take things best forward. And I think Patrick is also a great moderator because he is he's unbiased, and he is also not easily offended. So I think he has a personality which he's not easily offended. So basically he does a great job in bringing different people together, and in the end there's a good vibe in the room. And I think this is another skill he has, kind of to ensure that people get along with each other. And so I think because he's not biased and he's open to ideas, whether they are from an academic or non-academic, irrespective of what the background of a person is, I think he is ideally positioned for taking up this moderator role, and then taking this and also capsulating the ideas in a way that in the end one would have a concise and coherent document that captures all the ideas which has been brought forward.
Great. And finally, I know you can't do this in a short sound bite, but
I tend to make long
no, but
it's
great though. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, exactly. But coming in the research you're doing, what do you need to get it across the line to actually solve the problem?
I mean, there are multiple. I mean, we work in the ultrasound space, so we try to develop ultrasound, therapeutic ultrasound at a low frequency, into a treatment modality for brain diseases, in particular Alzheimer's disease. So basically we face multiple hurdles. So there's an initial observation in the lab. This observation needs to be translated. So we have built a device. We have acquired all the knowledge over the years to know how to program a device, also to know what the confounds are. So in the end, one has a device which goes into a clinical trial. One collects data. These data are fed back into the lab. So we do more preclinical research and goes back and forth. And in the end, hopefully we have a device which will be approved. But when it needs to be, we have all the regulatory hurdles which need to be passed, ethics hurdles, regulatory hurdles. But in the end, the technology also needs to be adopted by the clinicians. Because even when you have something which is approved, a device or a drug, unless it's being adopted by the clinicians, what's the point exactly? And so there are really multiple hurdles, and when you start as an academic, you're only aware initially just of your little bubble. So you try to find a scientific solution. You try to figure out what's going wrong, how you can fix something, how you can provide a solution for a really big problem. But in the end, you have always multiple hurdles one is not aware of. When it needs people with different expertise, someone like Patrick, who then has a different viewpoint. In fact, it needs lots of different people with different viewpoints just to make this work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jürgen. I know you've got lots of big schedule on. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
It was absolutely nice to meet you. Yeah,
you too.
Time, yeah. Okay. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, good.